Linh-chan and Dimi-chan craft art. Hello and welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So today, Lynn is making another figure from Sword Art Online.
But this one is from the movie.
Ordinal Scale.
Ordinal Scale.
Which should have been re-released yesterday, I believe.
Yes.
And with English dub.
English dub.
So go check it out.
It's a really good movie.
Much better than the series in general. So if you like the series, you'll definitely like the movie. If you didn't like the series, you may actually like the movie. It's a win-win.
Yep.
So, as usual, I believe here you are starting off with the head.
Oh, what are we making? We're making Yuna, by the way. In case you missed the... what's it called? The thumbnail.
I don't think anyone missed the thumbnail.
Well, anyway. Yeah, starting with the head.
So, you're just twirling up a very long strip of paper and then giving it a globe shape.
Yeah, half a circle. And letting the glue dry. And then this part I'm making the body. So...
go ahead.
This one sort of took me about 4 hours to record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Took you a lot longer to research, right?
It took me a lot longer to make my prototype.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot of little details.
And figuring out how best to do them.
Yeah. And more or less I'm sticking with the same pattern I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like the quilling version of those chibi figure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
The Nendroids.
Yeah. Oh, they're both duds.
You gotta re-twirl them.
Yeah.
So these are the legs, right?
These are the legs. So she has leggings on, and then the white part, supposedly, it's her skin.
Her bare skin.
Her bare skin.
And then you'll finish up the detail on those socks later, right?
Yeah. So there was a lot more details, and I sort of left some of them out because I didn't want, to spend
make it too cluttered.
Yeah, and I didn't want to spend like 10 hours on them.
So there you just made the feet.
I just made the feet.
They're black, so they're a little hard to see.
Yeah, on the thing. And then...
these are the arms.
Yeah.
So here you're just trying to get the right shape, correct?
Yeah. It's definitely very hard. And this art medium is called quilling, and it's pretty much you take strips of paper and just roll it up. And that little tool right there I use, it's pretty much a metal rod, and in right dead center there's a slit.
Mm-hmm. So you can fit the paper.
And then you slide the paper through, and then you just start rolling it up and using glue to seal it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that blue tray is it's like sort of like a mold.
Yeah.
And use it, push it out.
So you can make three-dimensional figures.
And then I normally use my pens to do smaller shapes.
Mm-hmm. So that's a stencil you made previously.
Yeah, that's a stencil I made. And
this is for a dress, right?
Yeah, that's her dress. And so I'm trying to do like little details on there.
It's the stitching.
Yeah. And the standard size paper, it's about 3mm thickness. And you can buy the paper anywhere, really. But what a lot of people do to save money too, like if they do a lot of quilling in general, is they buy a paper shredder. And they just shed strips and shred paper through, and whenever they need paper they just shred that specific color. And buying actual stacks of paper, it's actually a lot cheaper than buying pre-cut paper. But in the end they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
It's like each strip, it's about like
on the cents,
less than that. It's like 1 cent,
for a few sheets,
for a strip or something like that. So it's really insignificant. But if you do a lot of quilling in general, and if you want like specific color,
then you kind of need
then a lot of people,
or specific size.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with the paper shredder, it's only one size. It's a 3mm. And then if you want certain size, like 5mm, which is what I'm going to use later on, or right here, this is a 5mm, the black piece. It's a 5mm. Then you just buy it from like an online source, and it's not that expensive, really.
So give it a try at home.
But yeah, I forgot what I'm making. Oh, right now I'm making her little skirt. Yeah.
That covers up nothing.
That covers just the side of her hips.
Conveniently lengthed, and the camera never goes where it shouldn't.
Yeah. And her dress is extremely short too, which is the purple part of that dress.
Yeah.
Of that thing. Yeah, that's the dress. But yeah.
What a beautiful skirt.
So more or less the technique is the same. You know, the technique is the same for everything. It's just, yeah. So I sort of cheated and used like big sheets of paper to cover up certain parts, you know?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, initially what I wanted was to buy like, cause if you saw earlier, like I cut strips up into little pieces and then I glue the pieces together to make a big sheet. But you can buy big sheets. It's just that I get my paper from Amazon, and Amazon doesn't sell big sheets
of the same color.
And it's different seller, so it's hard to get the same color, and you know, so I end up having to just glue them together. Yeah.
So here you're doing more of the dress detail, right? The straps.
So her character is pretty cute. If you've seen it, she's very cute and adorable.
Very happy.
Yeah. And I don't understand, what was her purpose? As just to sing?
To embody his spoilers.
Oh yeah.
We'll leave it out. Go watch the movie, because it was pretty good.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. Oh, I'm
making the base.
I'm making the base to fill up the dome. That way I can glue the two legs onto it without it being hollow. So then it doesn't just collapse.
So that piece right there is to make the ribbon.
No, the piece that I did with the black and the pink stripes going through.
Yeah.
No, I think that's.
Oh no, that's not the ribbon. This part's the ribbon.
Yeah, this part's the ribbon. No, that part was like her dress.
Got it.
So she has like these straps that go from her dress across her arms.
Or her shoulders, right?
No, over her arms, but leave her shoulder bare. So here I'm just making.
So here you're making the smaller bow tie that she has.
Yeah, that goes over her.
So that first one's actually the microphone.
Yeah, it was really weird because I was like, what is that thing? And I was like, what is she holding? So it turns out to be the microphone that she was singing
There's a
through.
futuristic circular microphone.
Yeah. And it has like ribbons and all sorts of stuff on it.
Yeah, you're just testing out the bow tie. And then
she has some sort of like collar, necklace. They call it a collar. Well, it's a collar because it's supposedly connected to her dress.
Oh, got it. By invisible thread.
Yeah. So it's actually connected to her dress. But since it's gonna be covered up anyway with the bow, I just left that part out. And what is this part right here?
I believe they also go on the dress. No, the arms. It's her armbands.
Oh yeah, she has like not an armband. It's her cuffs. Like the sleeves on her. Oh, what are those called?
Yeah, the cuffs.
Yeah, the cuffs.
So.
Sealing it up.
I think it ended up being too tall, so you're comparing with your
prototype. Oh, so that was my prototype that I brought in. So since the prototype took forever, I didn't have time to make a head. So later on, I'm gonna be making the head in this video for the first time. So.
Wish her luck.
So here I'm gluing the two halves together, and then sealing it with a strip of paper.
And meanwhile, their new base is drying.
Yeah.
So that one is a little smaller, so it goes in a little deeper, right?
No, so what happened was I used... No, it's the same size, but what happened was I used the 5 millimeter, so it was thicker and it was sticking out. And since it was thicker, it was making now she's taller.
Got it.
So I had to redo it with a 3 millimeter.
And these are the hands.
Yeah.
So you're squishing them into a little teardrop shape.
Teardrop shape, and then I push it out to give it sort of like a 3D dimension.
And these are the ears.
These are the ears, yes.
Give them a little D shape.
Yeah, making it into sort of like a D shape. And it's really hard because...
Well, it's coiled pretty tightly.
It's coiled pretty tightly, and then I couldn't like push it out with my finger. And then I tried using the tool, but then the tool started bending.
So, going the microphone to the hand.
To the hand. And since it's it's supposed to be up to her face, but since it's with paper, I can only fold the arm.
So much.
So much at a certain angle. So that's why it's only at an L shape rather than like a V shape. Or a 90 degree rather than like a 45 degree. And there's the head. So her hair has 4 colors.
And she's secretly balding.
Yeah. So that's the bottom layer of her hair. It's light blue. And then on top of it, the top half of her hair is white. And then it goes to light purple, and then it goes to dark purple.
Yeah, it's an interesting...
It's very colorful. I like it. Yeah, so it goes over the blue part. So all of those strips right there, I initially made them for my prototype, but since I didn't have enough time to make my prototype head, so I end up using it for this head.
Cheater.
Turns out okay.
It's alright, you showed how to make one. So.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much just glue strips together, really. And initially, I wanted to do a nice transition. A nice transition. Right? So I use watercolor on the white paper. However, paper is made with a bunch of fiber. So when it's one color, you don't see the individual strand of fiber on the paper. But when I started wetting them or coloring in the...
Trying to do like a gradient, right?
Yeah, like a gradient. The fiber was starting to show very clearly on the paper. And you see like different spots of color. So I end up just doing this.
So that's her front braid.
That's her front braid, and all I did was just twist the paper into a spiral, yeah.
You use it for her tassels too.
They're not tassels, they're her side braids. So just testing to see how long I should do it.
And here you're making many little tiny strands.
Yeah.
And then coiling the whole thing up.
Or I'm just bunching it up together. Or is that the same thing as coiling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're sticking inside the braid.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool technique to get the
braid.
Hey, when you're working this small, you need to cheat, right?
Yeah.
Here, just doing the
like
elastic.
The elastic, yeah, like the rubber band over the braid.
The hair tie, there we go.
Yeah,
that's the word. Testing it all out.
What am I doing?
I think these are the bangs.
Oh yeah, her little tassels.
These ones are the tassels.
Oh, you sped up the video very quickly there.
It was a very long video. So here's that aforementioned ribbon that goes around the arms.
It's not really a ribbon, it's part of her dress. Like, it's supposed to be connected. I don't know how you can put on a dress like that.
It's okay, she's virtual. She does not have to ever take it off.
Oh yeah, true. And there we go. So, after everything... Oh, here, I'm making the base. And the base, I just chose random colors based on what the title usually... I usually choose color closer to the title color. So Sword Art Online, the title is it's like a blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't have like straight up blue color only, so I mix and matched the colors in.
Mm-hmm. You were saying before though, based on.
Oh, so at this point I was like, oh, after like filming and it was like 9 o'clock at night and it was past my bedtime, I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I realized after I forgot her two buns on top.
So we'll throw in an image really quickly so you can see what those look like.
Yeah, so that's the microphone with a little string that's not attached to anything, and her two braids.
But the buns are pretty much exactly like the microphone, right?
Yeah. Oh, is that what they are? They're like speakers?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, so her buns. Yeah, the buns aren't actually attached to her
floating.
head. They're floating. So that makes sense. So maybe they're speakers.
Scandalous.
So yeah.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed.
Yep. Thank you for watching.
Check back next Sunday for another figure.
Which I still don't know what it is.
So let us know in the comments what figures you'd like to see, and we'll be happy to consider them and add them to the ever-growing list of possibilities.
Yep.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.